energy.
That fight has now reached the capital, Tripoli. Reports of violent clashes breaking out on Sunday night.
There were snipers on the roof, guns were following us. We all ran away. One man died in front of us. We see he was shot down. Everyone, it was chaos. It was chaos.
There are also claims that hired killers were in control of the Green Square in the capital.
There was no presence of the military or the army. It was actually the mercenaries or the thugs, African thugs, that were shipped in or flown into Libya over the past 4 days. They were heavily armed. We had some of the retreats from the protesters coming back and giving us the feedback that there were a huge number of dead on the square.
We haven't been able to verify the claims of mercenaries operating in the country, nor how many people have died. One human rights group estimates that number to be over 200 in the last 5 days alone. The government has cut off the internet, and journalists are being refused entry, making it that much harder to get a clear idea of what is really going on. Stephanie Decker, Al Jazeera.
Well, we heard from Saif al-Islam al-Qaddafi a little earlier. At 38, he's the second oldest of Muammar al-Qaddafi's 7 sons. Well, he's widely regarded by the West as a friendlier face of Libya. He leads talks which resulted in Tripoli renouncing nuclear weapons and ended decades of isolation. Well, he advocates political and economic reform. As a result, he's angered conservatives, including members of his own family. And the government has restricted the activities of 2 newspapers he's involved with. Saif is regularly tipped to take over from his father, but in the past he said he's not interested in a formal political career. Well, in his latest speech, Saif al-Islam al-Qaddafi appeared to apologize for the deaths of protesters, but he also condemned the motives of some of them.
There were mistakes on both sides. Police, and especially the unprepared army, made mistakes. And of course, we have people who were angry, and they had the right to be angry because they suffered deaths. There is an Islamic group with a military agenda, and they want their own system. And there were others, including people on drugs, people who were curious, and others who got excited by it. They were all just being used. So there are many different groups that have different interests in Libya. It is clear there are those who want to rule and become emirs or rulers themselves. This is high treason. And then there are our Arab brothers, watching from their comfortable chairs, drinking coffee and helping us Libyans burn and destroy our country. We are the losers, not them.
Well, Wahid Burshan is a Libyan political analyst. He joins us live in the studio here. Thanks for coming in. It's all happening now thick and fast. Let's start with one of the many lines that we're getting here. Eyewitness accounts saying security forces, and I emphasize security forces, now reported to be looting banks and government buildings in the Libyan capital. Is this the beginning of the end?
I think we have seen this story before, right? I mean, this is happening in some respect in Egypt. Yes, I think the system is falling apart. Clearly, there's no security system, and the security system itself turning in its own government, I guess, and institutions. The situation is chaotic. The situation is out of control, and I believe the initiative is still with the demonstrators and the government pretty much trying to pick up the pieces.
We've also, let's read another line coming in here about planes attacking a military camp in AlJazeera. That's, of course, a very sensitive area for oil as well. What's going on there? Is that a sign that they're losing control of military units?
Well, I hope that's not the case, but I mean, clearly, if that's the case, it's very worrisome, and it is a change in the whole situation that it may be very destructive. But I must say, some of these news, and we worry about these things. I mean, sometimes they come in, you know, not necessarily, hopefully not accurate, because if it is, it's definitely worrisome.
What is the possibility of civil war that Gaddafi's son is warning of?
I think that's very remote. I know the Libyan people. And this is.
Why are you saying Gaddafi doesn't have any support left?
None, as far as I'm concerned. Let me tell you. Let me explain that very factually. The actual his own tribe at this point, they are considering basically let go of him. And clearly the other biggest tribe, the Wafili tribes, and the east is pretty much lost. So he has nothing. And that's why he relies on a military, external military, to come in and do his dirty work, if you will.
All right.
You know, in terms of African forces.
All right, thanks so much. We've got plenty more to talk to. I'm sure we're going to come back to you later, but let's just go to somebody who's actually in Libya right now and see what information we can get. Ahmed Jibril joins us on the line. He is he's a current diplomat, formerly representing the the Libyan delegation to the UN. Thanks so much for joining us. Can you tell us, first of all, what information you're hearing about the chaos and torching of buildings in the capital, Tripoli?
Actually, I'm talking to you from the eastern part of Libya, from a city called Al-Baida. Yesterday, I traveled from the Libyan borders with Egypt. We were handing over some videos so they can be broadcasting today. And I traveled to Al-Baida about 700 or 600, more than 600 kilometers. And the situation is very, very, very stable, very secure. Nobody touched us. People are in the streets, guarding the buildings, official buildings, taking care of other people, distributing food to those who are in the streets. It's very, very, very stable right now. It's actually more stable than it was 4 days ago.
Right, when you say, sorry, Ahmed, if I could jump in here. When you say people are guarding the buildings, have people taken over control of Al-Baida at this point?
The whole eastern part of Libya has taken, the people have taken control of. The whole eastern part.
Where are the security forces?
They joined the people. They are organizing the people. They are taking care of the security. They're taking care of the distribution of food. Taking care of some, some militaries who handed over to the military, who joined the people.
And right, that's the situation in Baida. You currently are a diplomat. You've been taking part in protests. What is your information about the plans to organize a mass protest today in several parts of Libya for a final push?
Yeah, in the eastern part, people are celebrating already. They are not protesting anymore. They are celebrating the departure of Gaddafi's regime. In the western part, most of the city are doing the same, except for Tripoli. There is many people in the streets of Tripoli. They are going right now from some neighborhoods towards the Green Square in Tripoli. They are heading towards the Green Square, and they are planning to organize a mass demonstration in there.
All right, thanks so much, Ahmed Jibril there, updating us on the developments that have been happening in Al-Baida in the east of Libya. Well, let's move on to another protester who can join us right now from Libya's second largest city of Benghazi. I believe we have on the line a protester who's actually made it inside the courthouse.